Hey there. Welcome to episode 13 of the Rugged Angel podcast. I am Kahleela, and I want to thank you for taking the time to tune in. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you for that. You can please go to RuggedAngel.com and check out past episodes, also available on iTunes under Rugged Angel Productions, as well as SoundCloud. Also, while you're over there on iTunes, if you could rate and review and subscribe, that'd be super. I really appreciate that. Also, things that are happening right now. The Pittsburgh 48-Hour Film Project is keeping me pretty busy. If you're not familiar with what that is, it is a competition that takes place in like over 150 cities worldwide. I am in charge of Pittsburgh's, and what happens is we challenge filmmakers to make a film in 48 hours. So we give you a genre, a line of dialogue, a prop, and a character, and you have 48 hours to make a 4 to 7 minute film. Now make sure to go to 48hourfilm.com/Pittsburgh for more info, and it's happening here in Pittsburgh, July 10th through 12th, and check that out. Go to the website for more info. We're also on Facebook, Pittsburgh 48-Hour Film Project. And I hope to see you there. Even if you don't make a film, you should come to check out the films because we screen all of them, and they'll be going down at the Hollywood Theater. So make sure to get in the know and like us on Facebook, and that way you'll be able to find out when and where everything is happening. Now, I am super excited about this episode because my sister joined me finally. Yay, hooray! Kahleela Adams. She is a dynamo. Now, she's younger than me, but I look up to her because she knows what she wants and she makes it happen. Now, when you talk about people making their own way, my sister is the prime example. Kahleela is an entrepreneur first and foremost, and she's amazing. She's multi-talented, bilingual, she's strong, and a blessing to everyone who knows her. And I also want to give a shout out and a big thank you and I love you to our mom, Deanna Adams, for giving us all of the necessary building blocks for our lives. She is the positive force that glows in our lives. And without her, I don't know if we'd be doing as much as we'd be doing. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast right now, more than likely, because my mom rocks. And I'm going to get her on this podcast very soon, but she's also a very busy lady. But I want to make sure that we get it right. And I think I'm going to wait until I get there and to stay in the same city with her because I want to sit there and look into her face as we talk intimately for all of you to hear. Words of wisdom. A strong woman is one who feels deeply and loves fiercely. Her tears flow just as abundantly as her laughter. A strong woman is both soft and powerful. She is both practical and spiritual. A strong woman, in her essence, is a gift to the world. All right, let's do this. Kahleela Adams.
Hi.
Kahleela Adams, welcome to my podcast.
Oh, thanks. Glad to be here.
Thank you very much for taking the time. And for those of you out there who are confused, thinking, I thought that was Kahleela. That was her podcast. And who is she talking to? I'm talking to Kahleela, my sister. I'm so excited to have my sister on my podcast finally. And so I'm going to try to go about this the best way I can with me knowing just about everything about her already and trying to make it seem like I don't.
I have some secrets up my sleeves. You don't know everything.
I know. I'm just saying like the main stuff.
Okay.
Like, por ejemplo, let's talk about your early years. Where are you from?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Toledo, Ohio. Born
The
and raised.
OH10.
What?
The OH10.
Never heard that.
I think because I made it up.
Can't say I don't like it. I mean, it works.
You're going to throw that out the next time.
Where are you from? OH10. What you know about the OH10? Okay. I like it. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a way to make it sound a little more flashy. So,
I agree.
how was your time in Toledo?
My time in Toledo was great. You know, I was raised by my mom and grew up with my sister, and our family has a production company, so we were raised to perform and spread positivity and love to the community through singing and dancing. And it was just a wonderful experience. It's kind of got me started with the performing arts since I love to dance and being an entrepreneur as I have a few businesses that I run. And yeah, I mean, it's great. It wasn't much to do besides our production company brought a
Mm-hmm.
lot of activity to the city. Um, but, you know, it was fun. I don't care for the weather. It
Mm.
tends to stay really dreary and cloudy and rainy there. And the winters seem super long, so I'm glad to have been able to travel to different places. But apart from the weather, I mean, it was okay. Wouldn't move back, but Toledo is, you know, it's Toledo.
Exactly. My sentiments exactly. Yes, we had a great time in our childhood, and teens and young adults, growing up basically because mom made it so. She created things for us to do and positive and creative things for us to get involved in. There weren't too many things for the youth in Toledo to do and be a part of, and so our mom created it, and so that's what
Right.
we spent most of our time doing, and that's where we learned all of our entrepreneurial ways.
Exactly. We can say we did so many awesome things, like performing with the Toledo Symphony Orchestra. Like, what 12-year-old can say they did that?
You
And what
can.
and when like 18-year-old can say that she was videotaping it, taking care of all of the video production of that event for Ad Love Productions and everything else that we did. National recording artists that came to the city, got to do hospitality for the Manhattans and Midnight Star, and just so many amazing groups. And we were really exposed to a lot. We had some great opportunities provided to us and 100% molded us into the women that we are today.
Yes, and I wouldn't change that upbringing for the world. I 100% fully believe that yeah, everything that all of that was the recipe for who we are today. So yeah, so that's what you guys can thank for all of the creativity and all of the super cool things that we keep popping up into your world. Kahleela is now in Atlanta.
Deanna Denise Adams. Yes, I am.
And how is Atlanta treating you? Which
Atlanta's
is,
awesome.
and just so you know, yes, my sister and I are not in the same city, and
Oh, yeah.
so that's
So it sounds like we are. We're not.
which is unfortunate, but we try to
It's
make do.
okay.
So how's Atlanta
Yeah.
treating you?
Atlanta's awesome. It is my favorite city, I think, of just about every city. And it's
Really?
mainly because the skyline. I don't know if you've seen the Atlanta skyline, but to me, it's the best. I love architecture and I love looking at different buildings, and Atlanta just has the best skyline. Every time I go and visit a different city, I want to see that city skyline,
Mm-hmm.
and still, like, nothing compares to Atlanta's. So
Really?
when I lived in other states, which, you know, we can get into that too if you desire, but even when I lived in different states, it's like I want to go back to Atlanta. Atlanta has such a strong business ethic here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of creativity here, and more than anything, it's a lot of faith-based spirituality here, which I love. And it's not that it's just like so many churches, because yeah, there's churches everywhere here,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more so that there are people that are like-minded and that are able to encourage you in your walk with Christ. In my case, I'm a Christian, and just being able to have somebody that, you know, believes the same way, encourages you, and you're able to just really have people of a like mind. And I see that a lot here in Atlanta. And it's just a really prosperous city. a lot of fun things to do, regardless of what you're involved in, what your interests are, if it's the arts, if it's music and entertainment, if it's culinary, if it is nature, photography, business, healthcare, literally whatever you would want to pursue in Atlanta, the sky's the limit here for you.
Well, and I know that works very well for you because you are basically involved in just about all of that stuff that you just mentioned, that entire list. And
Yeah.
that's just one of the many reasons why you are such an inspiration to me.
Oh,
I
thanks.
am consistently proud of you and all that you have achieved and accomplished in your life and all that you continue to achieve and accomplish, and just the wonderful, well-rounded, intelligent woman that you have grown into.
Oh,
And
thanks, love.
I'm not gonna get too gushy. So all right,
Don't
let's
make me cry.
OMG. Okay. So let's talk about your goal-oriented life and your focused and driven walk that you've been taking. So I mean, where do we begin? Let's start with Spanish language success.
Okay. As you know, my upbringing and how everything came about, as we discussed earlier with the whole entrepreneurial spirit. When I graduated high school in '99, I really wanted to pursue something that I loved. And for me, my love has always been Spanish. And really, I think it came in a lot when you were in high school. You would take Spanish classes and you would come home and I would be able to see your homework and see your books, and I would sit there and just be so interested in it and read through it. And I remember when you went to college also, you had gotten me a Spanish English dictionary. I know
Mhm.
mom had gotten me like one before, but there was something about like us going to the campus and we got it, and I sat there and I read that dictionary like it was the best book in the world. And I've just always had such a love for the language. Like we're part Cuban, but we didn't grow up speaking Spanish. But it
Correct.
was always just such like a love of mine. And
Hmm.
so I would sit there and then I would listen to music, Spanish music, Gloria Estefan, Selena, John Cicada, Mark Anthony, and then I would watch telenovelas on TV and just start listening to what I was hearing and sounding it out, and then going and looking into the Spanish English dictionary to see what that word meant, and just started learning it like that. It's a complete gift from God. I meet so many people that are just like, how do you speak Spanish fluently like a native, but yet you've never gone to school to learn it? And it is. It's a gift from God. I know that He wants me to preach and teach the gospel in English and in Spanish, so He gave me the ability to do that. And when I was in high school, I would take Spanish to keep my GPA up. It was
Hmm.
either Spanish or chemistry. And your girl wasn't going to take chemistry because that was not going to help me graduate. So I took Spanish, and whenever I was in the classes, if a student would ask the teacher something, she would turn around and ask me. And I'm like, why are you
Huh.
asking her? She's a student. And she's like, well, because she knows. And then I'd start having conversations with the teachers in Spanish, and it was just awesome. So when I graduated high school, the day after, I officially started Spanish language success with my first students that came in. We had the office space that we used for our family business, and had everyone from attorneys to doctors to missionaries to traveling students, just everyone that would come in to learn Spanish, even children. Parents would bring their 5-month-old babies to me for me to speak Spanish to so they could begin to get accustomed to the language.
Right.
And with Spanish language success, it was all about having personalized lessons. So no matter what your goals were for the Spanish language, I would customize and personalize your lessons in order to help you reach your goals. So that's still a passion of mine if you can't tell. But yeah, I love Spanish.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant, just the way that you make your lesson plans, but just like you said,
Thank
you
you.
you personalize them and to help mold them into whatever that person's goals are that they're trying to meet, whether not just with learning the language, but their goal of success in life. Correct.
Correct.
All right. And so I think it also just helps that, I mean, it's definitely a gift from God, but you like learned so young and you just fully immersed yourself. I'm just hearing you're like, I know, and I was there and I witnessed it and everything, but just to hear it's like, yeah, she was actually like, you just like full on just dove into the Spanish language and just the way that you went about it. And that's just like one of the smarter ways to figure out how to learn a new language and just how to be able to speak it like a native.
Thank you.
And you're,
That's so true. And go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
I like hearing you, affirm me and everything. So please continue.
You have more?
No, but I was just gonna say, like with Spanish language success, another part of it, since you mentioned having the immersion experience, that's what I do for other people. Is I want them to have that immersion experience and make it fun, because there's so much more to the culture than the language. And so I'll teach them Spanish dance if they would like to learn salsa, merengue, bachata, cumbia, all of the dances. I'll incorporate that in your lessons. Or if you want to learn Latin cuisine, whatever it is, I would like for them to have a full, total immersion experience. Because as you said, I think that's really the best way to just dive in and make sure that you can learn.
Yeah, most definitely, because it's almost like well, I don't want to really liken it to swimming, but I mean, I don't want to say like sink or swim.
Yeah, don't.
But yes, most definitely, it's just the way you learn anything, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And that's one of my downfalls with the language is, I left Toledo speaking Spanish pretty well and then moved to Pittsburgh, where there is like no Spanish population at all, and there's absolutely no reason for me to speak Spanish. And so yeah, it's a little rusty, and so it's a little rough now, and I'm really kind of bummed about that. I can still read it very well. It's just speaking it that's kind of that
it'll come
gets
back
me.
to you. Just get people to practice with, and if you want to practice with me, I mean, hey, I'm here.
I know. It's just a matter of me just I know. I just keep feeling like, well, I'm never going to use it. Well, Camilo, just do it. Just do it, because it's
Yeah.
such a beautiful language.
No hay pretexto, which means there's no excuse.
Show off. So, so we talked a little bit about your dance instruction as well. Kahleela is also a very gifted dancer, and so just tell me a little bit about that. I mean, that goes on along hand in hand with you just immersing yourself in the Spanish culture, but that's not the only type of dance that you've been dancing since you could walk. So
that's so true. You pay attention well.
Yes, I do.
Well, I mean, again, it goes back to us performing and the Positive Force Performers was a group of children ages 5 to 12 that would sing, dance, rap, and act out positive messages to their peers through our mother's parent company of At Love Productions. And so Spanish Language Success is like a child company of that, as well as Dynamic Dance and More. And Dynamic Dance and More is a dance company and dance studio that I started and ran here in Atlanta. My mom was the manager of the space and helped with scheduling and everything business behind the scenes, so that all I really had to do was dance and teach, which is what I loved.
Perfect.
And so I would teach Latin, of course, but then also holy hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
So hip hop still with the same, sharp moves. It's just having a message behind it, showing the young ladies that you can still be cool, still dance, still have fun, and, be hip hop dance relevant without being derogatory in your motions or showing different things. So it's all about purity.
So important. That's just like, I feel like that's something that just needs to be a consistent message just throughout. That should be like a required course for all children in, like, from middle school on up. It's true.
And it's so sad for me to see. And I don't want to take like a completely different term, but it's like, what happened to people just being cool, like in their dance and their music? And I was thinking about it the other day. It was like the dances that I see that are popular right now. There's like the Birdman, there's the Nene.
I don't even know what these are. You're saying words that I don't
know. Exactly. And these are dances that are like, there's no effort put into it. Like, you would not sweat. And it makes me think back to, okay, maybe you'll sweat with twerking, but twerking is just nothing in my opinion.
Pop a disc.
Exactly. But it's like I was thinking back to like the 90s, and you
Ah,
see like actual guys dancing. And even further back than that, when there's like steppers and everything, like there were
mhm.
actual dance moves and there was
Not to
actual
talk about like
effort put
the
into it.
Roaring Twenties when there was
Oh
when
my
there were
goodness, right?
actually like when you dance with your partner and
Yes,
you guys are doing the same dance together, and there's actually it's not just gyrating and humping on each other. It was
right.
actual some sort of talent and skill that was necessary, and it was still like you see the footage, everybody's still having a great time. It's
Mhm.
just, and they go in there and they're all dressed up and everybody's sharp and looking really nice and well put together, and they come out of at the end of the night, everybody's all just like drenched with sweat and just
Yeah.
like I mean, they had a good time. And
Yeah.
it's so funny that you like mentioned the 90s hip
Yeah.
hop dance, because actually I was just talking mentioned that to somebody today. We were talking about like, Kwame and Heavy D and the
Yeah.
boys and like
Exactly.
Kid and Play, and it's
Yep.
just, you miss that stuff, and like, you're naming off those new stuff. I have no idea what any of that stuff is,
Mhm.
and
Like
I have no
seriously, the
desire.
nene, like you
It
put one
sounds
hand in the
awful.
air and you sway.
Are you serious?
Like, yeah.
Oh, that makes me sad. What are you people doing? What are you children doing? I don't
Ah,
understand. You
get
guys, if
back
you want to be
to real
cool,
dance.
yes, exactly. I need you all to just go out and research the Harlem Renaissance. Go look at some old videos of like Duke Ellington and um
Mhm.
look up the Lindy Hop, or even, you know what? Let's how about we hip hoperize, if that's a word, um
It is now.
some ballroom dancing, and
Yes.
and I would like to think that with Dancing with the Stars being so popular as it is, what are they,
Yeah.
like in their 12th season or something, that
Yeah, they're in their 10th now.
that
And
should
so
be
you think you can dance. It
right.
covers such a wide gamut of dance styles. It's beautiful.
Like, I would imagine that there would be much more popularity in these things just on a regular basis, and not just, old TV stars going onto the
Oh,
top of the show and dancing with it. Like, but I don't know. You know what? I couldn't tell you the last time I was in a dance club, so I don't know what they're doing out there. I have no idea. So I
people
could
are
just
more interested in Real Housewives and whatever else is on TV that's reality and
boo,
drama. Exactly. Boo.
boo. I say boo.
Hated it.
So
Seriously.
so you did mention that you're also, I know that you do some volunteer work with your church, and I know that
Yeah,
you are a interpreter, as well as you run video for them as well.
that is true.
Tell
Yep.
the people about what your typical day is like, what church it
Oof.
is, and what your not your typical day, just specifically for the church. Like, I know there's a lot on
Okay.
your list for your typical
Yeah,
day.
of course. Okay. So I attend Victory World Church in Georgia, and it's a wonderful congregation, wonderful church, and people probably know it most because the worship pastor there and music minister is Montel Jordan from back in the day. This is how we do it. He now is the worship pastor there and also preaches on various Sundays.
Nice.
And so I am involved with the home repair ministry. Love it. Go out, fix houses for people that need assistance, usually elderly or single parents, things of that sort. And it's a great group of people that go out and repair houses, do lawn work, whatever people need in order to be a blessing and help them, we're there. Another ministry that I serve with is video production.
Hmm.
And so I'm up on the professional platform, on the cameras, operating them as the director is calling the shots in my ear. I'm getting those shots, making sure that they show up right, not only in the sanctuary, but also as being recorded. They get put online, but then we also stream live. So you see that as well. And then the other area that I serve with is the translation ministry, and I am the director of the translation ministry. Been doing that for a year as a director, and before that, I served as a translator for about 8 months or so, maybe a little longer, before they asked me to accept the role of director. So the languages that we currently have are Spanish, French, Portuguese, Vietnamese, and soon have Korean and Russian.
Wow.
And
Wow.
those are the translators that I oversee. We have a group of people that are the facilitators that actually hand out the equipment. And then
Do
we
they
have a
also
team
have,
of,
sorry, do they also have
you're fine.
American Sign Language?
We used to. And for some reason, not many people ever came to the service. And so
Hmm.
they ended that. But hopefully it'll come back if there's the need. And that would be under the translation ministry as well. And yeah, so we just work with so many different languages and so many different people,
Wow.
and it's a wonderful group of translators. It's about 65 that are in the ministry right now that I oversee, but I have great leaders that I am able to supervise as they supervise others. And we actually have a meeting coming up on Sunday, which is a huge mandatory meeting that I've been working a lot on to ensure that we have a brand new training manual. And so we're making it mandatory. All of the volunteers will come out, and all of those that are looking to start within the ministry, we're going to have a great time of fellowship and just having lunch together, going through the manual, and ensuring that everyone is prepared to serve with excellence. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's awesome. And it's also so heartwarming to hear about so many different languages are congregating in the one space. Like, wow, how many different languages is that?
Well, the languages are 4 currently that go forth every weekend. However, that's one of the pastors, his name is Pastor Dennis Rouse. That's one of his um, vision, like part of his vision is to
Mm-hmm.
see cultures reconciled together
Mm-hmm.
and being able to worship together. And I think at last count, it was like 400 nations that are represented in the
Wow,
church.
that's
Because
beautiful.
of all of the different cultures that come together, it goes and spans over like hundreds of nations. So it's, yeah, it's really beautiful.
Wow, that's amazing. And if only the rest of the world could realize that's the way
Yeah.
that we can get it together.
Yes.
We can all
If
worship
I
and
could
love
teach
and
the
live in
world to sing
harmony.
in one big harmony.
Hey.
You remember we had that like record back in the day and it
Yes,
had like
yes.
all these different, yeah, that was so
As
cool.
soon as you started singing it, that's the first thing that popped into my head was that record.
Yep. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. That was so awesome.
Well, all right. Now let's move it
Okay.
along to Fit for a King Healthy Cuisine.
Whew, fit for a king, healthy cuisine.
See, I'm
That
just
stands
absolutely
to,
blessed that if she wasn't my sister, she probably wouldn't have had time to have sit down with me or to do this podcast for an hour. So
I
I
have to
very much
say that is true.
I appreciate you for squeezing me
Mm.
in.
Oh, you're welcome, love. Anything for you. So, yes, there have been people coming to me requesting interviews.
Get to turn down
You,
Oprah.
pretty much, you, my dear, have the exclusive.
Nice.
So, you are
Matt
like People
Lauer,
Magazine.
Oprah, Diane Sawyer. No, no.
Rugged Angel.
I
Darn
said
it.
nay. I said nay.
Whew. Okay, so Fit for a King, Healthy Cuisine. Another one of my loves, and that is cooking, culinary arts. I
Mm-hmm.
adore cooking and baking and
And I
everything
adore your
culinary.
cooking and baking.
Aw, thanks, Lev. Again, coming back from our childhood, our mother raised us to eat healthy food, take our vitamins
Mm-hmm.
and nutrients, and to really like just live organically. Like we
To
were
pay
eating
attention to what
health
you're
food,
putting in your mouth, basically,
yes,
to
to be
read the
label detectives,
labels, right?
yes.
And to
So
understand and to know. And I've mentioned this before on the podcast, and other places. It's just that we were doing smoothies well before anybody thought it was well before anybody was paying
totally.
$10 for them. We were
Exactly.
shopping at health food stores well before anybody knew what a health food store was. And
Yep.
and just a consistent amount of, weird looks from your classmates because you had brown bread or blue chips or weren't allowed to partake in the pizza day,
So true.
because you didn't know
Yep.
whatever, like, I don't know, Twinkies, dongs, or whatever.
Anything. Gosh. So yeah, we were raised to not eat red meat. Like I've never eaten red meat in my life. We did not eat scavenger fish,
Mm-mm.
the fish that feed on the bottom of the ocean, like shrimp and lobster. We
Mm-mm.
did not eat refined white sugar.
No
No
dyes.
Kool-Aid in the house. Yep, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors,
Our
no
Kool-Aid was the
processed.
papaya juice. Remember papaya juice? I miss that so
Ooh,
much.
yes, concentrated papaya syrup. I miss that. I wish someone would make papaya syrup
Yes,
or
I
like
miss
make
it
papaya juice.
so much. You don't know how often I get like just the taste
Wow.
for it.
Huh. We're gonna have to make that happen.
Yeah,
Side
I think
note.
you're right. Yeah,
I'm
word.
gonna get some papaya. We're gonna make something happen with that.
Nice.
Um so
So yeah, what's
yeah.
funny, like you were saying no shellfish and no scavenger fish,
Mhm.
and Dan, my husband Dan, is Jewish, and he says that I keep more kosher than he does
That's awesome.
because, and I didn't even know it. It's like,
Who would
oh,
have thunk?
that's just how I'm living, bro.
That is awesome. And it's so cool to see like the new trend, and I call it a trend.
Yeah.
It's not a trend, but it is kind of new considering like for us, kindergarten for you, birth for
Hmm.
me.
Right.
It's like this is how we were raised and we're
Right.
in our 30s now. But then now to see everybody talking about, yeah, I start my day with a green smoothie and I'm gonna get this and it's organic and that's great. I
Right.
applaud them.
Right.
But I'm so grateful that we were raised in that as our lifestyle, you
Hmm.
know? So now when there's so many people that are looking to start and they don't know where to
Hmm.
start or they don't know how because someone tells them they got to eat this kale or this
Hmm.
whatever and they don't think it tastes good,
We're already
I've
accustomed
been
to it.
blessed to yeah, to know how to prepare it. And
Right.
so I prepare healthy meals for people that, just need maybe some assistance in that area, or they just want some great cooking, or it's just convenient for them so they
Yeah.
can prepare, have me prepare it for their families. And so I prepare a new menu every week of some sort of exotic cuisine, healthy meals, lots of organic foods, lots of whole grains, and amazing flavors, and great baked goods, mainly vegan, a lot of vegetarian, and cater to the pescatarian as well, those
Hmm.
that only eat fish. So, yep, that's what I do, and I love it. It gives me a great opportunity to just cook and bake and share my love with others.
That's amazing, and I'm so happy that you're doing it and sharing it with folks. For a slight fee, but still,
Yeah,
it's all
more
about,
like a ministry. It's like they basically pay for their ingredients.
but still, it's very I don't know. Sorry, I my phone just blinked and I completely lost my train of thought. So
You can like edit that whole section out.
yes, yeah, I could definitely do that. It'll be fine.
Okay. Wasn't feeling that one as much as the others.
Oh no, I'm not editing out the whole thing. No, I thought it was good.
Okay,
Um,
thanks.
so we can move along to and I know you don't have a business about this, but another thing about you that's stunning is your fashion sense. You are quite the little fashionista,
Is
whereas
it?
where on the flip side I suck at that game. But
Whatever. Thanks,
seriously,
bro.
it's no, it's like because you are not afraid of color for one,
Oh no.
and you actually like get hyped about shopping or like trying to find new
Oh
outfits
yes.
and things like that. Me, it's just like ugh. And I tend to always lean more towards neutral colors, and
Yeah.
I need to like be consciously aware of like, no, Camila, you do not need another black pair of slacks. Like seriously, you
Right.
need to try to get something else, or you don't need another pair of black shoes, or even If it were left up to me, I would be wearing t-shirts and jeans and Converse every day.
Wow.
But
My neutral is rhinestone, so that's all I know.
So what are some of your like fashion or favorite places to shop, or your are there
Wow.
fashion blogs that you follow, or
Let me tell you. Okay, so first of all, I have to say, I remember like years ago, you came in my closet and you were like,
I
"All your
know when
shoes
I
are
just
black."
said I know and it just said that. Just,
You see what you did there?
and I don't even remember it. I remember you telling me about it after the fact, but I don't remember doing it.
Yes. And from then on out, DSW has been my best friend. And I like every time I shop, well, every time I visit a new state or a new city, there's two places I have to go just to experience that city for real, for real. One is Whole
DSW
Foods.
and Whole Foods.
Yep. And I recently visited a city and I went to find Whole Foods because I needed lunch. And as I pulled into the parking lot for Whole Foods in the plaza, it was right next door to DSW. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is fate.
And then there was a
exactly
banner
where I'm
outside that said, "Welcome, Kahleela," and there were balloons. And then the parade started.
Yes, and this red carpet just rode out, and it just rained and glitter, and it was amazing. And so I got out of the car, right? So I was like, okay, I'll go to Whole Foods after this. And I walk up to the door of DSW, and I I open the door and I step inside, and you know, like your hand just kind of lingers on the door behind you as your upper body just like leans back on it. I was lightweight, like embarrassed because that wasn't in my head. That happened in real life. It was like anyone that saw me was probably like, what the heck? Because I walked in like, oh, I have arrived.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, I know. But it was a great experience. So yeah, DSW is one of my favorite places to shop. I just had a delivery today from DSW. I'm super stoked to open it. It was my reward for making it through the workday. I was not going to stop and open it. I would wait until afterwards, and that would be my treat. What else do I like? I like New York and Company. I like Nordstrom. I like Macy's, JCPenney's. So I mean, I'm a frugal fashionista. Like, I'm not one that just goes into like this impulse shopping.
Right.
It really has to be something that I want, or if I see it, I'll wait, and if I still want it, like a week or so later, I'll get it. But more than anything, during that waiting period, I'm looking online to find it cheaper somewhere or to find coupon codes for it.
Do you have a Retail Me Not app on your phone?
I do. That, and there's a deals pl.us, so it's like Deals Plus.
Nice.
They have great ones too.
Yeah, you're very patient where those things come into play.
Yeah.
And it's just I just don't have that in me. Like, I'll usually be just like, I don't want to pay for that, and then I just forget about it and go on my way.
And I don't know when it happened, because I used to love to shop. I remember hating going shopping and buying when I was little. And I remember hating wearing dresses and didn't think that I looked right. And now I love wearing dresses. I love buying shoes. I don't know when that changed. I honestly don't know what happened.
Well, it all changed. It was a nice change because you look great in dresses, and I absolutely love how you pull things together. And isn't your closet arranged by color?
That and season. So,
Ooh,
and of course, like style.
Oh my goodness, so much work.
But it's worth it. And then once you have it set up that way, once you iron your clothes or whatever you do and you put them on hangers, you go right into the section and you hang them up there. So you don't have to organize them every time.
You didn't look in my closet when you were here, did you? Because I fear that would have sent you into a tailspin.
Probably would have just helped you organize it.
I know you would have left. You left and then I going like, what happened to my closet?
Pretty much.
All right. So, great. So this is going very well. And And so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to ask you your random question from 4,000 questions for getting to know anyone and everyone, and your top 5.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
Are you a filmmaker? Do you want to be a filmmaker? Do you think you could make a film in 48 hours? Well, now is your time to test that theory. Pittsburgh, the 48-hour film project, is back for another wild and sleepless weekend of filmmaking. July 10th through 12th is the weekend that we are giving you. If you're not familiar with the 48-hour film project, this is how it goes down. We give you a genre, a character, a prop, a line of dialogue, and 48 hours to make a 4 to 7 minute film. All the films will be screened at the Hollywood Theater the following week. And we choose the best film of Pittsburgh, and that best film of Pittsburgh goes on to compete against all the other cities. Yes, this competition goes on in over 200 cities worldwide. So this is just a great thing to be participating in. Not only do you get to flex your filmmaking chops, but it's a good chance for your film to be seen by friends, family, and adoring fans. So if you're interested in signing up, go to 48hourfilm.com/Pittsburgh. If you're not in Pittsburgh or near Pittsburgh, you should probably check the website to see if there's one near you, because there probably is one. So just go to 48hourfilm.com/Pittsburgh. You can also check us out on Facebook at Pittsburgh 48 Hour Film Project. And we're also on Twitter at Pittsburgh 48HAFP. The Pittsburgh 48-Hour Film Project is sponsored by Chatham University, The Hardware Store, Pittsburgh Film Office, and Rugged Angel Productions. So once again, go to 48hourfilm.com/Pittsburgh, sign up your team, and get ready to make some movie magic. Okay, we are back, and I am looking through this questions book here, and I don't know, there's so many. There's actually like 4,000, and I don't know which one to ask you. Okay, this one is interesting. Would you spend a week in an empty room?
For what?
So it's going to be a no.
Yeah, that's a definite no.
I can't imagine it for any reason why one would do that. That's not punishment.
Yeah, that's solitary confinement. Like, why would that even make the editing of the book? Like, did they just didn't want to call it 3,999 questions? So they just decided, okay, we'll put this in here. 4,000 questions is a much better title. Like, no, spending a week in an empty room.
Okay. That was kind of a bunk question. I'm gonna. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to find a different one. That one kind of sucked.
You're really gonna need to find a different one. Yes.
Oh man. Okay. Do you write down your ideas?
I don't, and I need to.
Yeah.
I really need to. I was just having this conversation with someone last night, and yeah.
Good story, bro.
I thought about him, and I lost my train of thought. So I was just basically saying, like, my days, I really need to do better with my time management and not procrastinating, because I can have like this 8-hour period where it's like do, and then come hour 7, I'm like, bam, I'm gonna get this done, get this, and get this, and get this, and get this, and it's like done. I probably do more than most people in an hour than they do in a full day, and it's like, Leela, why can't you just do that for the full 8 hours? Like, you will be amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to write my to-do list every day, and I need to write down my ideas, because I get some great ones, and then it's like, oh, I'm definitely gonna remember that. Like, that's amazing.
Right.
Then like the next day, I was like, wasn't I thinking about something? Like, oh my gosh, what was it? So yeah, I need to. I really do.
Now I fall into that same problem, and it's like I'm usually like I literally and both figuratively, like in my head, I have about 20 tabs open in my computer at like any given point in time,
Oh
and it's just
wow.
I'm consistently this micro or multitasking, and
Mhm.
my problem is, and I I'm getting much better at writing the to-do list, but my problem is once I start something, maybe that'll make me think of something else, and then I'm like, oh, I better go ahead and do this real quick while I'm thinking about it, or this and that. Oh,
Mhm.
maybe I should look up this, see what that's like. We'll just leave that tab open so I can think about it later. And it's crazy, just the way that I
World.
work. I'm amazed that I get anything done.
Yep.
So yeah, but I have found this wonderful site and an app. It's called Wunderlist,
Hmm.
and you can you make your to-do list, but you can also separate them by different, you can put them in different categories like home, work, or for me I put different projects. Each project has their own to-do list, and then you can
Mhm.
also rate them up in importance, and you can also put deadlines on them, and it'll sync up with your Google Calendar if you want it to like pop up on there and remind you, hey, you need to get this done by this date. And so it's like it's really cool. Like I just found it a couple weeks ago, and I'm trying to get into
Oh,
the groove of it. And it's you can do it online, and you can also, like I said, there's an app for your tablet or your phone that you can join it with. So it's so
okay.
far so good.
Common spelling.
No,
Wonderlist.
no, with a U, not an O.
Okay. I'll check it out. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and Wunderlist, if you'd like to sponsor the Rugged Angel podcast, you can please send your information to ruggedangel@gmail.com.
I think so too. I
Okay, so
told mine that.
word. And now it's time for the top five. Now, Kahleela, I gave her, I assigned her her top five list, and she's the first guest of mine to immediately send her list back to me. So I already know what her list is, but you guys don't know. So, it's still cool. We're still sharing. And I also
I'm
made a
efficient.
list. And I also made a list. So,
Yay.
the top five list that I assigned to my sister is the top five places you'd like to visit.
Yes.
Kahleela, take it away.
Okay, this is so exciting because I love to travel and I've really been blessed to travel to some amazing places that I've always wanted to go, like Miami, Florida, and San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Lake Tahoe and Malibu. But these are my next five that I would really love to do. So,
Okay.
Havana, Cuba.
Word.
Would love to. Maui, Hawaii. Definitely have to go. New York, New York. Can't believe I haven't gone.
I
Need to
know
go.
it's really strange how long it took me to get to New York, and we lived in Ohio. Like
I know.
it's not like we grew up in California or can't. It's like we're literally not very far from there at all. And like me, even worse because I've been in Pittsburgh for like 15 years, and I was just like, what, 6 hour drive, 8 hour drive.
Goodness. I tell you. And now that The Wiz is coming to Broadway,
I know.
yes. The next one is Barcelona, Spain, for obvious
Barcelona,
reasons.
Spain.
And I've been to Disneyland, but I've never
Really?
been to Disney World, so I have to go to Disney World.
When did you go to Disneyland?
In 2009.
Really?
Dude. A road trip down from Napa, California
Why
to
do I not know
Disneyland.
this?
Oh no. I didn't send you pictures and stuff. You had to see pictures. I'm pretty sure they were even on Facebook back then.
I don't know if maybe I've seen the pictures and didn't realize that it was the Magic Kingdom, but unless you were wearing a Mickey Mouse ears, I don't think I would have known that.
No, I don't think I was. But yep,
So
been to
you said,
Disneyland, but not Disney World.
okay, and Disney World is in Florida.
Yes.
Why so big about Disneyland?
Why so vague or why so
Why so
big?
big? Like why the big attraction?
What's so big about Disneyland?
or either one of them. Like, I mean,
Or why do I want to go?
yes. What's the big attraction for
It's
you
Disney.
personally? Okay, that's cool.
Did we not grow up together? Didn't we watch all of the Disney things
We
and
did, but
the
I still
Mickey
don't.
Mouse
I don't
Club?
have. Yeah, I don't have that. Drive. I don't want to go to Disneyland or Disney World. I'm okay.
What's wrong with you? Where's your inner child? Let her out.
Like, I don't know. It just seems so chaotic. Like,
I'm sure. Like I see people take their like toddlers and everything to Disney World and Disneyland. There's no way in the world
I can't
I am
imagine.
taking children to Disney anything. I understand,
First of all,
maybe some of them understand. I don't think they understand what's going on until they're at least 6.
Right. Well, plus,
I'm not taking a 2-year-old to Disney World.
No, absolutely not, unless they're on the Disney Channel.
Let me calm down.
Or unless
I was getting really worked up. Way more than was necessary. Okay.
Or Disney anything. But yes, I just don't know. It just doesn't really appeal to me. I guess I just don't like amusement parks in general. And and it just also seems like a lot of money. Just a lot. It just seems like a lot in general.
Yeah.
And somebody excuse me, I noticed I guess a friend on Facebook, they took their family to Disneyland or something last summer, and they're like, posting pictures of all the stuff that Disney sends them, and I don't know how much the stuff costs, but I think it's like a family of 5 or something. And like one of the things they have, I guess now, your admission ticket or whatever, you get like a bracelet with your name on it, and it's like programmed or something, and I guess it's supposed to help if kids get lost. But I kind of see that as problematic if your kid's walking around with their name on a bracelet. But whatevs.
Yeah. True. You see both sides of that.
Yeah.
I just want to go with like either a group of friends, like all adults, or your husband, because that's just like you get to just be children. Like you're adults, but you have that time and just get transported into a completely different world and just have fun. So
what was your favorite Disney movie?
Oh, Aladdin, hands
down. Word. Mine too.
Yeah, totally.
I still rock out to the soundtrack. I absolutely love that soundtrack.
Me too.
I was just listening to Prince Ali today.
Oh, were you? That's awesome.
Yes. And I still haven't like purchased the full album, which I should, but I just listened to like I have 1 or 2 songs on my iPod, but I listened to most of the album on Spotify. But Robin Williams songs are not on Spotify. So
really?
Yeah. So
wow. So Never Had a Friend Like Me is not there.
Nope. So every once in a while, like I'll have to like either watch the movie or I'll just listen to like on YouTube or something. But yeah, it's a bummer. And so I just need to purchase the full album. That's the only way I can get it. I have to purchase the full album on iTunes in order to get that.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I know, because that's my jam.
Yeah.
And so the other ones you had was Havana, Barcelona, Maui, New York, and Disneyland.
Yeah. What are yours?
All right. Mine, I also have Havana.
Nice. We need to go.
I know. And I also have Hawaii.
Wow.
I don't have any specific city in Hawaii because I haven't really researched it that much. Why Maui? What's so specific about Maui?
I must have seen it in my teenage years and gravitated towards it. It just looks so beautiful. And
Gotcha.
I always said when I got married, I wanted to honeymoon in Hawaii, and Maui in particular. And it's like I still get emails from the Maui Conventional Center or something, their business bureau, something like that for their travelers. But yeah, they still send me emails, and I'm going to go someday. I'm going to go to Maui.
Yeah, man. Cool. What did I say? Cuba, Hawaii, Greece. I really want to go to Greece.
Nice.
I would like to visit Ireland.
Really?
It looks very green and lush. Like it just looks
True.
really just I don't know. It might be rainy for the most part, but just I feel like it smells great.
That's true. So fresh.
Yeah.
Like Irish Spring soap.
I can't stand you.
Did you
And
ever see the movie Leap Year?
no, I did not. That's the one where she asks a guy to marry her.
Yes, and it is set in like Ireland. I think you would love it for nothing but the scenery, if nothing else.
Nice. That's Amy Adams or is that Isla Fisher? Because I always get those two confused.
That's true. I'm pretty sure it's Amy Adams.
Gotcha. And last on my list is Hollywood, California, LA.
Okay.
Haven't been there yet.
I have been. I did not do anything touristy there, but I went to a vegan restaurant in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It was pretty
How was
cool.
it? Yeah. How was
Yeah, the
Hollywood in
restaurant was
general?
good. It was
Nice.
dirty. I'm
It
sorry.
was
I don't want to
oh
ruin
no.
your.
Well,
It
I mean, I
was.
really don't have that much like, ooh, Hawaii or Hollywood. Ooh. It's just I just feel like I would get a kick out of visiting, at least
You
once.
would. I would have
And I don't
liked to have seen like the touristy side of it because we just went to
yeah,
like some restaurant on the way back to say like, hey, we went to Hollywood.
right. Well,
That's
yeah,
all.
well, the same goes for New York. It's dirty.
True. So
But
true.
I feel like it's a different kind of dirty. I don't know. There's something different. Like in my mind, like Hollywood is like all spread out. But like, I don't
Mhm.
know. New York is like really claustrophobic and just like everything is hustling and bustling and it is dirty. But it gets a pass for some reason because it's New York.
Wow. That's true.
I don't know. I didn't mind it
Nothing
at
like it.
all when I went there.
Wow.
It took me, I had to like, stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and then just like,
Mhm.
okay, this is what we're doing. Because when we like were walking around, I think we stayed in Manhattan, and we, we were walking around for the most part, and then we got to Times Square, and there was a lot of
Mm,
people just on a normal base, just on the normal streets, and then we like
yeah.
turned the corner, and there was Times Square, and there were just like 80 bajillion people there, and
That's amazing.
I'm like, okay, we're doing this.
You're in it now.
Yep, and I just took off, and like Dan, like to this day, claims that I was like a New Yorker, like I was a native, just the
I'm
way that I took
sure.
to it. But yeah, but I
People
definitely,
always say you walk fast anyway,
yeah,
and then
I
now
do,
you're like in the midst of it. Yeah, I'm sure.
I do. Like people can't keep up, and it's like
Mm-mm.
I have long legs and places
Yes,
to be.
you do.
So
You know where I'm
OMG,
surprised that you
what?
didn't go, that you didn't say you wanted to go?
Where?
Egypt.
Mm,
You used to always want to go to Egypt.
I still do.
All right, top
I don't
six.
know why it's I gotta add it to my list now because I
Yes.
have this wonderful again my books. I have a book called Listography: Your Life in Lists,
Nice. I
and
think I remember that.
and I have some other places on my list here too. But yeah, I forgot about Egypt. That's crazy
All right.
pants. Thanks
I'm
for
here for it.
reminding me.
You're welcome. That's
Well,
what sisters are for.
it is, and we have come to the end of our hour.
Now it's time to say goodbye.
To all our company.
P-O-D C-A-S-T
S
R-U-G-G-E-D
A-N-G-E-L.
A-N-G-E-L.
Well done.
Oh, it's been a true joy. And
Oh my
I
goodness.
commend you for all of the amazing work you do. I know you are focused on your guests and everything, but you are stellar. Your work ethic is stellar.
Oh.
Your accomplishments are amazing. You need to interview yourself on one of these podcasts. I'm so serious.
Oh.
People really need to know the amazingness that is Kahleela Adams. So kudos
Thanks,
to you,
sweetie.
and I'm so
Thank
proud of
you.
you, and thank God for you, and I love you so, so much.
Thank you. Thank God for you. And I love you so, so much. And I am just blessed to have the most wonderful sister and most wonderful mom in the world. And
Amen.
I just am really blessed and thankful for my upbringing and my roots, where they come from. You and mom whew, are my rocks. Like, you are like
Yep.
the biggest influences in my life, as well as my biggest supporters, my biggest fans, and I love you both for it. And
Thank you.
one of these days soon, I'm getting mom on the podcast, and
Awesome.
yeah, so I can't wait for that. So you guys look out for that. And Kahleela, where can the good folks find your business ventures and world-changing events on social media and stuff, your websites and things of that nature?
Well, if you are interested in healthy cuisine and you want fresh meals in Atlanta, or if you just want recipes and tips outside of Atlanta, you can go to kingandqueencuisine.com. And you can also go for Spanish lessons to myspanishsuccess.com, Facebook, King and Queen Cuisine, Instagram, King and Queen Cuisine, Twitter, Fit4King Cuisine. Lots of ways to find me, and if all else fails, just do a Google search for Kahleela Adams, and there I will be.
Definitely get her that way. So once again, Kahleela, thank you so very much for doing this. I had such a good time, and I'm glad
Me too.
you seem to have a good time. And,
Yeah, toast.
so yes, awesome. And you can also please go to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review to Rugged Angel Productions, where you have all three of my podcasts in the same stream. You have Rugged Angel Podcast, you have Down to Watch, and you have the Scandalized Podcast. You can also find me on Twitter at _Rugged Angel, and you can also find Rugged Angel Productions on Facebook. And yeah, you can also go to ruggedangel.com and just find it all that way. So once again, thank you all for taking the time to listen, and I hope you had as much fun as we did. Good night.
Thank you all. Good night.
This has been a Rugged Angel production.